when we do divinations, it is an extension of the Lama's compassion to help relieve other people of trouble, money, difficulties, and unknown sufferings. That is the motivation for doing the divinations. If any other motivation is done in a divination, it is not correct. It is not the right way to do it. The result will be murky. That is the reason we do divinations. Divination really means to divine. The English word to divine, to see into something we ordinarily cannot see. For it to be accurate, for it to be correct, the person asking the divination must have faith in the Lama. And the divination that comes out, the person must believe and follow the divination all the way through. If they follow the divination all the way through, definitely got result. If they don't follow the divination all the way through, they will not have result. They cannot blame the Lama. They cannot blame the Three Jewels or the Dharma protectors. Why? They themselves don't follow what they need to do all the way. How can you get the result? Impossible. So then after the divination is done, certain people have to do pujas in the monastery. Certain people have to do pujas within themselves, meaning they have to do some chanting, some prayer, some mantras, some black tea, whatever, within themselves on a regular basis in order to purify a specific type of karma that they have, so that the negative result that's supposed to come won't come. And listen to this very carefully. If you were supposed to do 100,000, let's say mantras or whatever, 4 years ago, and you didn't do it because you're lazy or you pretended you don't have time or whatever, then 4 years later when you want to do it, it's not the same already, because that situation is past. So if you have a simple, if you walk in a rain, you have a simple flu. You don't go to the doctors, you don't take care of yourself, you run around and you don't rest, take a lot of fluids, it can turn into pneumonia. So when it becomes pneumonia, flu medicine is already ineffective. So some of us who have to do certain practices and rituals and purifications, if we don't do it and we're very lazy and we're very bored and we just don't want to push ourselves, most of the times because we don't care about ourselves and other people enough. So when we don't care about others, whatever result we get will affect everybody around us. When it affects people around us, we expect people to help us again. And if they don't help us, we scream, they didn't help us. No. The pujas are for us to do ourselves. And if we don't do, we have to have people force us to do. The results will come. If we do the pujas and prayers and what we need to do every day, grudgingly, means we don't want to and someone has to force us and make us. Or by punishment, or coerce us. Or when in a good mood we do it, when in a bad mood we don't do it. Also, the results of the pujas will be minimal. Minimal. Very minimal. Why? Your effort comes in. The method is perfect. But your effort is the secret here. So sometimes even if we do 100,000 mandala offerings, 100,000 prostrations, we don't get our full result. Why is that? While we were doing it, we didn't follow the criteria. If you're doing prostrations and you're thinking cheesecake, and you do 100,000, you get a little benefit because you're prostrating to the Buddha, but you probably, get the blessings of a cheesecake. Because you're not prostrating to Buddha, you're prostrating to a cheesecake, because that's what you're thinking about. So even prostrating makes you focus your mind. Some people have to be punished and forced and pinched and kicked and slapped to do a prostration. Not much effect. Why? Because they're not doing it from them. They're doing it because they're forced. And people who don't want to do practices, people who don't want to follow, people who don't want to be consistent, those type of people, if you observe them, will have many, many difficult things happen to them. Again and again and again and again. And if the lamas are very compassionate, they'll let them know. If they let them know they still don't do it, they still don't. It's a clear indication that this person doesn't care about the people around them. Why? Because when things happen to them that are not good, they expect everybody to cushion them and protect them and take the fall. That's very scary. Very, very scary. So what I'm trying to say is, when you ask for a divination, that's what this class is all about. That's what I've been explaining for the last few hours. When you ask for a divination, make sure you have confidence in the Lama you ask, me or anybody else. Make sure. And make sure that you will follow out the divinations 100%. And if you have any doubt, 1%, don't. And if you ask for the divinations, follow it out completely, not grudgingly, not complaining, not throwing a BF, and when you finish, don't put posters up that you finished. Humbly, quietly to do. Because most divinations are not just to solve the immediate problem. They're designed to help you collect merit to achieve a higher state. And then when you get the divination results, it can equal into two parts. One is pujas in the monastery. One is special practices for yourself to do. Special practices. And for serious cases, it's like going to a doctor for serious problems. When you finish your particular puja and you finish your particular retreat, you go to the next step. You go to Lama, I finished this, what's the next one? You can go back to Lama 20 times until you finish, because the problem can be big. But if you go there 20 times and you don't follow one time, it affects the other 19 times that you go. It affects. And as I said, for people who consistently not follow divinations and not listen and not carry it out, even when those people ask for divinations, it will not come out clear. No affinity, the samaya broken. It will not come out clear. None at all. So, the divination for high lamas are a mask to cover their clairvoyance. Like when the Dalai Lama does divination for us, he uses a dice. Definitely it's a mask. Definitely. Gen Yima Rinpoche in Gandhin, when he does divination, is a mask. I've seen him. I've seen before the dice even touches the floor of the box. He tells you the answer. I've seen him many times. For high lamas, it's a mask for covering their clairvoyance. For normal people, and for lamas who bought their certificate meat, their divination is really a divination. They need to do the retreats, they need to bleed, they need to suffer, so that they can maintain this relationship with their Dharma protector. When they ask their Dharma protector, that Dharma protector will indicate signs through dice, through their mala, through their robes, through the mirror, to them, to give you advice to help you. And divinations are always free, they're not advertised, and they're not something for people to focus on. And so therefore, if you do that, you can either do divination by direct clairvoyance, or you can do divination by the power of one of the instruments such as a dice or a mala. Such as a mala. Example, my great Geshe in America, he rarely shows his power to do divination, but I begged him a few times and he uses the mala. He uses the mala, he does a prayer, and he tells me what to do, and I've done it comes true. Very rare. I think I was with him 6-7 years. Only twice he would show me that ability. Otherwise he'd say, no. He has his own reasons, but twice, no problem, because I follow what he said. So some people use dice, some people use malas, some people use their robes, flapping, folding of the robes and opening up. I know that there's many methods in mirrors. And for those who have clairvoyance, they can directly perceive. For those who don't, they can use these instruments because they've made a connection with their Dharma protector. And they maintain their connection with their Dharma protector every day. To have this link open. Example, we have a good friend in the government. We have to give gifts sometimes. We have to take them out sometimes, send a card. We never contact them. All of a sudden, 2 years later, we need their help. Hello? They say, I don't know you. Dharma protector is not like that. But in that way, what is a Dharma protector? Is that they won't say he don't know you. You broke it, your link, your affinity. So if you do the practice every single day, consistently, definitely it will be clear. Clear for the person giving you the divination. Clear for you getting the divination. So when you come ask me a question, it's according to those categories. Did you guys write it down? It is according to those categories. When you ask the question, then when I give you the answer, you write down the answer and the pujas, and you instruct the people on it, but you have to understand the structure of the monastery. You have to understand the structure of the pujas to be able to give that information clearly. It's not so simple, oh, you do that puja, you do at the monastery, it's this much money. No. You have to understand the structure. It's very complicated to do divinations. Very complicated to get it done. Why? Your problems are complicated. The problems are very complicated. That's why I haven't done divinations for many months up till now. Why? I need good divination secretaries who will train up and learn the monastery, the procedures, how to get it done, how to order the pujas, how to explain it to the people here. It's very, very important.
When you do special pujas at home, instructed by the divination, do you actually have to do it in front of the altar, or can you do it with, get stuck in the jam?
Well, the thing is this, the best is in front of the altar. I'll tell you why, because your focus is there. So the pujas you do will be much more effective. If you do it just reciting, but you still have to pay attention to traffic, it's beneficial, but not fully. So if you put your full body, speech, and mind into it, it'll be much more beneficial. Why? Because you have the full effects. If it's a puja to clarify the mind, because your mind is unclear, and you're reciting mantras, just reciting from the mouth, but your mind's not concentrating, it's not very powerful to clear the mind. Understand? So if we're in front of our altars or at home, whatever, in a relaxed position, a relaxed place, easier for us to focus, then the pujas are much more effective. Much more. Each divination to be carried out, there's no time frame, but it depends on your problem. If your problem is tomorrow, you better do it today. If your problem is 6 years down the line, you can take your time. So the time frame is not how fast or how slow. The time frame is how serious your problem is. Yes?
Can I ask a divination?
Yes. Yes, you can. You can ask a divination for other people, no problem. But make sure you can explain it correctly. Pujas can be done for people who are dying or dead. People can do pujas for people who don't believe, definitely. Because the Buddha's compassion extends to everybody. But the effects will be much less. Example, like cases where people can't afford it and they don't want to do it. Or they can afford it, they don't want to do it. They have friends pay for it. The effect is there, but not as much as if they come from them. Because the pujas are offered to the 3 jewels on behalf of them, from them. So the merits go to them. But it is good, it is effective, it's better than not doing anything. But not as effective as it came from them. And there are cases of people who are very sincere, they want to do the pujas. They can't afford it. They want to. So if the pujas are $100, maybe they put in $20, their friend tops off $80 and they do it. That's effective. Why? Because a friend gave the money to them and then they gave it to have it done. It's the motivation.